From beautiful emerald rice fields to bright sandy beaches, tropical forests filled with wildlife to teeming megacities, the Philippines is a paradise with friendly people and vibrant cultural experiences just waiting to be explored. Philippines, officially the Republic of the Philippines, is an archipelagic country in Southeast Asia. It has an area of 300,000 square kilometers. 111 million people live in the Philippines. Government type is Presidential Republic. Manila is its capital, and Quezon City is its largest city. Filipino and English are its official languages. Filipino is a standard language which is based on Tagalog. Over 100 languages are spoken in the Philippines, but 19 regional indigenous languages are used in many communities to ease communicating with each other. Among the most spoken languages are Tagalog, Bicol, Pangasinense, Cebuano, or Waray. The Philippines is the third largest English-speaking country in the world. Peso, PHP, is its official currency. National holiday. 12th June, Independence Day. Literacy rate. 98% of the population over 15 years of age can read and write. Most people are Christians, 92%. National symbols. 3 stars and sun, Philippine eagle, national bird. National colors. Red, white, blue and yellow. National anthem. Lupang Hinarang, Chosen Land. The Philippines gained independence from Spain in 1898 and on 4 July 1946 independence from the USA. The Philippines is an archipelago in Southeast Asia. The archipelago is located in the Philippine Sea between the South China Sea and the Pacific Ocean. There are 7,107 islands in the Philippines, but only about 2,000 of them are inhabited. The country has a coastline of 36,289 kilometers, 22,548 miles, and does not have land borders. One of the 10 largest island countries in the world is slightly larger than the state of Arizona, USA, or about the size of Italy. The largest island of the Philippines is Luzon. This is the northernmost island, also the most populated island of the Philippines. There are 3 main island groups: Luzon, Mindanao and Visayas. The Philippines flag has 3 stars on it to symbolize these 3 sections of the country. The longest river of the Philippines is the Rio Grande or Cagayan River on Luzon Island, with a length of 505 kilometers 314 miles. The highest mountain is Mount Apo with 2,954 meters 9,692 feet. This is a volcano located on Mindanao Island. Many active volcanoes are located on the Philippine Islands. Mount Pinatubo erupted in 1991, and this is considered the world's second largest eruption of the 20th century. Manila is the main business center of the Philippines. Quezon City, however, is the biggest city with about 3 million inhabitants and located within the metropolitan city of Manila. The metropolitan area of Manila, which is located on Luzon Island, houses about 13% of the population, about 14 million people. The 3 largest cities in the Philippines are Manila Metro Region, 14 million, Davao, 1.8 million, Cebu City, 1 million. Almost half of the country is used for agriculture and forests account for about 1/4 of the land area. Luzon, Cebu and Negros are the most populated islands. 17% of the people live below the poverty line. 7 million children malnourished. Schooling is compulsory in the Philippines for 12 years. Football, volleyball, tennis, basketball and martial arts are popular sports in the Philippines. The national sport is called arnis. This is a martial arts sport which includes stick fighting. Agricultural produce includes sugarcane, coconuts, vegetables and tropical fruits and rice. Among the main resources are copper, gold, silver, and nickel. The Philippines houses the world's largest resources of palladium, a rare metal. Among the main export products are also sugar, coconuts, electronics, transport equipment and minerals. The main trading partners are Japan, the USA, China, South Korea and Germany. The Philippines is the world's second largest producer of biothermal energy. The Philippine cuisine is very varied and consists of rice and vegetable dishes, as well as many dishes containing fish, seafood, chicken, pork or beef. Crocodile meat is sometimes considered a specialty. Typical dishes include spices such as ginger and garlic, as well as soy sauce or fish sauce and rice vinegar. Here are some typical Filipino dishes. Adobo. Chicken or pork meat marinated in soy sauce, vinegar and spices such as bay leaf, peppercorn, ginger and garlic. Caldereta. Beef stew usually made with bell peppers, carrots and potatoes. Chicken tinola. Chicken soup with green papaya. Pancit. Fried noodle dish with many variations. Lumpia. Filipino version of a spring roll usually dunked in a sweet and sour sauce. Halo. Dessert with fruits, sweet beans and multicolored shaved ice topped with evaporated milk and often purple ice cream. Yub ice cream. The purple color comes from using yub, which are purple-colored sweet yams. Kain na. As they say in Tagalog. Let's eat. Come eat with us. The Philippines belongs to the 17 megadiverse countries of our planet. The rainforests of the Philippines house over 500 species of birds. More than a third of the bird species are not found anywhere else in the world. There are also about 100 mammal species that only can be found on the Philippines. Many indigenous species are endangered, such as the Philippine tarsier. Tarsiers are unique to rainforest areas, but today they only exist in the Philippines, Malaysia and Indonesia. On the Philippine Islands there are only about 700 tarsiers left. There are about 13,500 plant species with over 8,500 species of flowering plants. Over 3,000 plant species are only found on the Philippines. The Philippine rainforests are known for its unique orchids, of which there are over 500 species. Located on the western edge of the Pacific's Ring of Fire, the Philippines has hundreds of volcanoes and an average of 20 earthquakes per day, most so faint they can't be felt. The three most active volcanoes are Mount Pinatubo, the Taal volcano, and the Mayon volcano. The Negritos were the area's earliest inhabitants in prehistoric times and still live in nomadic tribes in the tropical forests today. Exchanges of peoples with Chinese, Indian, Malay, and Islamic states then occurred. Spanish colonization began with Ferdinand Magellan in 1521, and in 1543 Spanish explorer de Villalobos names the archipelago for the crown prince, later King Philip II, of Spain. Filipino culture has been influenced by both the East and the West with significant influences by Spain and the US also. It owes much to its Malay heritage as well. Traditional district festivals, barrio fiestas, that commemorate patron saints' feast days are common. The Moraines and Sinology fiestas are two of the better-known community celebrations and they include music and dancing as well as feasting. Traditional Philippine folk dances like the sigil and the tinkling, featuring clashing bamboo poles and jumping patterns, are being preserved by the Bayanihan Philippine National Folk Dance Company. Filipinos still dress up and wear their national costumes of special occasions, with women dressed in a turn, a long dress with flared skirt and butterfly sleeves, and men wearing slacks and a barong tagalong, which is a special shirt with sleeves made out of pineapple pulp. Children go for 6 years to elementary school, and then for 4 years to high school for their mandatory education. The University of Santo Tomas in Manila was founded in 1611 and the University of San Carlos in 1595, making them both older than Harvard University, which was not opened until 1636. Most of the students in the Philippines' universities are female. They earn 2/3 of all master's degrees awarded, and most all of the doctorates. The Filipinos celebrate secular holidays as well as Christian, Chinese and Muslim ones. Some notable ones are the Day of Valor, in which Boy Scouts reenact and honor those on the Patend Death March, Independence Day on June 12 and National Heroes Day on August 30, in addition to all the religious holidays. Christmas season in the Philippines starts in September and ends with the Feast of the Three Kings in January. Christmas feasts, Noche Buena, are said to compare to Americans' Thanksgiving dinner. Basketball is the Filipinos' most popular sport, but cockfighting, or sabong, is also quite popular, particularly with men. Sabong existed in the islands before the Spanish arrived. The Philippines' own Manny Pacquiao is currently regarded as the world's best boxer, and when his bouts are on television, crime drops to almost zero in the cities. Social media is important to Filipinos. The Philippines is now considered the text capital of the world. With more than 450 million SMS messages sent by the residents daily, they surpassed the daily texts sent in Europe and the US combined. On July 27, 2014, the birth of a baby girl made the population of the Philippines officially become 100 million. The Philippines was the 12th country in the world to reach this number. As of 2007, there were an estimated 12 million native Filipinos living and working overseas. The money sent home by these people accounts for approximately 11% of the economy of the Philippines. The Philippines supplies the rest of the world with approximately 25% of all the overseas nurses that are available worldwide. The Philippines struggles with human trafficking. It has the fourth largest number of children who are prostituted in the world. There are an estimated 375,000 girls and women in the sex trades. They range in age between 15 and 20, with some as young as 11 years old. The national symbol of the Republic of the Philippines is the national bird of the country, the monkey-eating eagle, or Philippine eagle. This is the largest of all the eagles with a wingspan of almost 7 feet wide. Because this eagle is critically endangered, killing one is punishable by 12 years in prison as well as a heavy fine. It is estimated there are only 180 to 500 of these eagles remaining. The only place in the world where skunks are found other than America is Indonesia and the Philippines, where they are called stink badgers. In June of 1991, Mount Pinatubo erupted and sent up a mushroom cloud of ash 25 miles high. The effects of this destructive eruption were felt throughout the world as 20 million tons of toxic sulfur dioxide remained in the Earth's atmosphere for more than a year, lowering its temperature by a degree for the same amount of time. There were 184 people injured and over 847 people killed when it erupted, and more than 1 million people left homeless. It is the only country in the world whose flag is flown upside down when the country is at war. There are no large predator animals in the Philippines except for snakes, cobras and pythons, birds of prey, like the monkey-eating eagle, and saltwater crocodiles. On these volcanic islands, mineral deposits are abundant, but remain largely untapped presently. The Philippines is believed to have one of the largest copper deposits in the world, and the second largest gold deposits after South Africa. It also has a supply of chromite, zinc and nickel. The country is, however, the world's second largest geothermal energy producer, after the US. The Philippines' waters are an important part of the Coral Triangle. The Sulu Sea's Tubataha Reef is a 1993 World Heritage Site. It sustains the cultivation of seaweeds, crabs and pearls. 7 of the world's 8 giant clam species are found in the country's waters. The most expensive and rarest seashell in the world is from the Philippines. The Conus glorium is sold at auction for around $5,000. One acute problem found in the country is deforestation, making the Philippines both a megadiversity country as well as a biodiversity hotspot for global conservation. A hotspot has a critical need to conserve endangered and threatened species. The rice terraces of the Cordilleras remain how they were in pre-colonial times and are considered by the Filipinos to be the 8th wonder of the world. They were built over 2,000 years ago and are a UNESCO World Heritage Site today. Before the discovery of an underground river in Mexico, Palawan's Puerto Princesa subterranean river in the Philippines was the longest underground waterway in the world. It is 5 miles, over 8 kilometers, long. Mexico's is over 6 miles long. Not only is the country home to the longest snake in the world, it is also the world's longest reptile. The reticulated python can grow to be as much as almost 29 feet in total length. The Philippines' capital city of Manila gets its name from the nilid, a tree with star-shaped white flowers sometimes called the indigo tree, because it yields blue dye. American soldiers come back from World War II with a new word in their vernacular, boondocks. If you live out in the boonies, you are isolated from others. The word actually is based on a Filipino Tagalog word that means mountain, bundok. After World War II, the jeeps American GIs drove in the Philippines were left behind and converted into the Philippine jeepney for carrying multiple passengers. Today's second and third generation jeepneys include air conditioning and closely resemble colorful mini buses. 3 of the 10 largest shopping malls in the entire world are located in the Philippine Islands. They are SM Mall of Asia, SM North EDSA, and SM Megamall. Filipino Pedro Flores introduced a modern form of the yo-yo as a popular toy, but it actually had its beginning as an ancient studded hunting weapon attached to a long rope. The name is from the Ilocano language and means come back. Filipino Dr. Abelardo Aguilar invented the antibiotic erythromycin in 1949. When he sent a sample to the Eli Lilly Pharmaceutical Company, his employer, they quickly patented it. It is used for people who are allergic to penicillin and has saved millions of people's lives. In 1975, Filipino Roberto del Rosario patented the sing-along system, the first working karaoke machine. The Japanese later translated the name to karaoke, meaning singing without accompaniment. Ferdinand Marcos, the country's first elected president, died 2 decades ago yet hasn't been properly buried yet. He is on ice while officials decide if he should be buried with other past presidents and the Philippines' heroes in the cemetery, reserved specifically for them or not. A fusion of a variety of cultures creates the uniqueness that is the Philippines. From its majestic active volcanoes to the colorful jeepneys that carry you from place to place, the Philippines are waiting to be discovered.